Hmm. Yeah. So yeah, what you were asking about the difference between TEF and TCF.
Yes.
Yes. So what I was mentioning that B1 is the minimum requirement to, I mean, which is like pretty okay to prepare for TEF or TCF. So once you're done with B1, so what I do in my coaching specifically is, uh, like after A1, A2, once one person knows that, okay, I can pursue this language, and
Mm-hmm.
one can, so B1 is a level wherein you actually looking upon your level, how you're dealing with that B1 level, how much you're able to understand during that thing, during that course. So there and then I take a decision like, okay, we will see. So when I prepare for B1, normally I take a mixture of some TEF examples and TCF examples sort of questions, and then from there on I decide the students base, let's go for TEF or let's go for TCF. Now the
Okay.
difference between the two would be, again, the pattern. Okay, there is no difference. Language is a language, है ना?
Hmm.
So even for TCF you have to have minimum B1 level and a good
Mm-hmm.
amount of speaking and listening practice. And
Okay.
the difference is that TEF, you have all the four competence: speaking, reading, listening, writing.
Mm-hmm.
But in speaking and writing, you
Hmm.
have two sections to
Okay.
appear, like section A and section B in TEF.
Okay.
है ना? Whereas, so you have two sections in TEF, two writing or speaking sections, I can say. But where in TCF, you have three
No.
sections.
Okay.
Yes, the time frame is same. I mean, you get 15 minutes here also
Mm-hmm.
in TEF, like in the speaking. Spoken, you have 15 minutes. Even TCF has 15 minutes duration. But
Mm-hmm.
it is divided into three sections. But
Okay.
why? So generally, there is a hype of TEF in the market.
Mm-hmm.
TEF, 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 TEF.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, this hype is just because there is this thing in कि okay, यहाँ पे two sections होते हैं, सिर्फ दो ही questions attempt करने होते हैं, यहाँ पे आपको तीन करने होते हैं, मतलब just because कि no, it has one extra section to attempt. But in my experience and being a TEF TCF expert coach, I suggest my students to write TCF. Though I have many students for TEF preparation जो सिर्फ TEF ही बोलते हैं मुझे, and
Mm-hmm.
people who are living in Chandigarh, Punjab, Amritsar, Bhopal, or
Mm-hmm.
मुंबई, पुणे, अहमदाबाद, तो उनको तो मैं टेफ बोल देती हूँ. I prepare them for TEF. But TCF generally takes place in Delhi and Bhopal. भोपाल पे भी on request होता है because there are not so many aspirants for TCF.
Mm-hmm.
But in this three section, one section is just your introduction. So if you would
Okay.
count it as a huge like topic, it is
Mm-hmm.
not really. You have to introduce yourself just for like 1 minute, 30 seconds, plus 2 minutes. 2 minutes hota hai, and that too we prepare it. I mean, and there is a lot of exclusive material which I provide. In TEF also, the listening and the reading comprehensions which I provide, the material, they get repeated in the exam. In
Mm-hmm.
TCF though, man, again, the material which I provide and the references, everything. So there is a repetition of those questions in the exam. But again, we have to choose which one to take during your B1 learning. So just don't say that I have to write TEF. I mean, that you can ultimately, because in TEF, you have longer listening questions, like longer audios.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas in TCF, you have smaller, shorter the listening audios in terms of the length. But फर्क एक होता है कि in TEF you have the question, like the question written in front of you. जैसे let me show you one example. Like when you have this question, écoutez encore, or maybe when you have MCQs, है ना? तो MCQs पे आपके पास ऊपर question दिया हुआ होता है. What is the name of this girl? है ना? Sita, Geeta, Pooja. So that question is given, what is the name of that girl? वो TEF में होता है. TCF में क्या होता है, that question is in the audio itself, at the end of the audio. तो आपको थोड़ा इतना मतलब attentive रहना पड़ता है that you listen that question properly, and so you just have answers given on TCF. But वो हो जाता है, मतलब I still find TCF easier.
And ultimate, they're both like proficiency certifications for French, right? तो उसमें कोई फर्क नहीं है, like TEF
No, they are both, they are both like proficiency, they're both eligible for your immigration purposes.
God.
And they have the validity of 2 years, whereas DELF has a lifetime validity. DELF is not used for your immigration purposes. It is just your proficiency exam which you are just taking, and you say you claim that okay, I'm a DELF A1, DELF B2. That's all.
Oh, okay. Then
TEF-TCF is like IELTS.
I see.
You use these exams for your immigration. They won't help you in getting a good job. मेरे पास कुछ अभी भी बोलते हैं कि हमें इसलिए करना है, हमें जो ऐसा कुछ है नहीं. आप बोल के मतलब if you feel like it is, ऐसा नहीं है. TEF-TCF से आपको जॉब में कोई advantage nahi hai. It's just used for immigration purposes. They will boost your CRS scores and will help you in getting the PR of Canada. And once you get it, your certification is finished. Like, I mean, it has already helped you in moving abroad. That's it.
Oh, that's helpful to understand, because then the proof of proficiency ke liye fir DELF is what?
Yes, but I do not know if people or many companies still they demand for your TEF for certification like this in your resume, or maybe. But yes, of course, when you're creating your resume, you can put that okay, TEF CE, TEF achiever, C1, C2, whatever, B2. But again, TEF is like that is exam centered approach, whereas DELF is we are testing your proficiency towards the French language, because DELF is a diversified sort of an exam wherein you do not have repeated questions. TEF-TCF, you may get repeated questions, so we consider that okay, she might have rectified things, or maybe कुछ चीजें ऐसी हो जाती हैं जो कि
correct,
like that. I don't know, maybe you can check that out, what is happening there in Canada, and how is it really to acquire a job,
yeah,
French, maybe.
yes. I see.
Oui, pas de problème. So when you're planning to write this exam?
So that's why, because A1, A2 is done now, I'm glad I brought up this question, because in my head I was like, acha, TEF या TCF, but given that I've already immigrated, then I was looking for something just as like a value hold for the proficiency. And
then go for DELF.
Yeah. And I also want to do B1, B2, because I think now I'm clear on the conceptual understanding to, all of the grammar information that you've provided and vocabulary. But I think speaking, listening is where I also want to build like my own confidence and understanding.
Right.
Then I'll probably do B1, B2, and then go ahead and give DELF.
So even like so what you do is like you have completed A2, right? So pursue B1 also, and once you are midway of B1, then you go and take A2, DELF A2. So this should be your first exam. No, do not directly go to write DELF B1 or B2, never, because that will be very tough on you. And since you won't be having any prior experience to these sort of exams, how they actually go, and what sort of invigilators, examiners are there, and so one must have that experience to pass this B1, because A1, A2 still they'll give you some lenient sort of marking. You will be able to easily crack A2 DELF. I mean, after even doing this course, it's just you need some practice in your speaking, like DELF based questions. like I can share a book with you. You can text me personally.
I
So
will
I'll
do that.
share the book for DELF A2 and with the audio file.
Mhm.
So just
Yeah.
practice that maybe yourself, or maybe, get a tutor for yourself. Just like have a 1 month practice,
Mhm.
twice a week, and then
Okay.
go for DELF A2. Do not
Okay.
ever directly try to go for DELF B1, because from A2 to B1, it's a huge transition, and B1 will be really tough.
Okay. Got
Huh.
it.
So you have to be familiar with A2 DELF at least. Once
Hmm.
you have that certification in your hand, at least you're into beginner, uh, achiever, like DELF achiever for beginner level. So then you pursue your B1, and then you practice more, and then write B1, because it's again not a very cheap exam. You have to pay a lot for these exams also.
Hmm. Got it.
B1 में तो they may flung you, मतलब आप they may fail you कि आप
Hmm.
तो इसलिए वो, so it's better advisable कि pursue your B1 and meanwhile write your DELF A2. बहुत ऐसे
Hmm.
होते हैं जो A2 A1 करने के बाद बोलते हैं हमको A2 DELF देना है, मतलब there is no rush about it.
Hmm.
You can still wait for
Hmm.
a month and practice more, and then go and write exam. You'll have more confidence as well as more practice with you.
Absolutely. Well, that makes a
Yeah.
lot of sense. Thank you.
Yes. No the problem. So where exactly are you in Canada?
In Toronto.
Okay, so you've got a job there?
It's just been a month, so I've started my application process now.
Uh-huh.
Luckily, I know it's like French requirements are a lot more in the Quebec region.
Quebec,
Uh,
yes.
yeah, but here I just want to add it as an asset to my own professional, competency, because
Mm,
it will open up more avenues. So I'm
mm,
also looking. So I was like, I'll devote at least a year to it. Um, learning different levels, but
exactly.
the process that you just shared also makes perfect sense. So I'll
Mm-hmm.
into that.
Mm-hmm. So you're there on work visa, or like as a what?
PR. I got the PR, and then
Achha.
I'm.
So why you want to write FTCF then?
No, that's what I maybe we
Acha, okay.
understanding nahi thi.
So now you have PR, you can move to Quebec. अच्छा वहाँ पे French requirements हैं जैसे आप बता रहे हो.
हाँ, so I mean, I'm also here because my husband's here. So I
हाँ
mean, now Toronto's the ideal option.
हाँ
But this is
हाँ.
something I wanted to do for myself personally, and then of course I'm sure professionally also it'll open up a lot of bilingual job
Right.
opportunities.
Hmm. Now you can get the job, like maybe you can apply for in a bank or something, or
Yeah,
maybe in the education field. Of course, then you have to like pursue a separate provincial certification to teach in a certain province. मतलब
correct. Yeah,
Canada में थोड़ा ये है कि in every province you move, so you have to take a certification to teach in that province. But
absolutely.
yes, it is good for maybe जैसे वो होता है क्या बोलते हैं ना early वो teachers जो होते हैं early childhood teachers होते हैं या जो भी I do not know what your background is, but French may help you in these sort of domains. If
Correct.
not ये जो IT field हो गया उसमें I don't think so it is much required in Toronto side or
Not
even
really.
British Columbia, like schools generally they promote this,
Yeah,
but not really companies.
correct. Yeah,
Uh,
you're right.
yeah. Okay. So yeah, anyone, if you have any doubts or questions.
What is
Hmm.
what like how big is the leap between B1 and B2, since we discussed that B1 is the minimum requirement? Is B2 just fluency of A1, 2 and B1?
Fluency of A1 to B1. I didn't get this statement. Like,
So we discussed that for these exams, like at
Hmm.
least B1 is the minimum, right?
Hmm.
So is B2 basically fluency of A1,
Right.
A2 and B1?
Not A1, A2, I can say. I mean, so you cannot jump from the intermediate level to jump down to the beginner level. So B2 is, of course, an advanced version of B1. Now, B1 has a lot of grammar topics, and of course, the pillar of this. B2 is your brushing up your all the things which you have done in B1. Of course, B1 consists of A1, A2 parts as well. So we will say it is an intermediate level wherein you smoothen your whole learning and practice, and you do a lot of listening, a lot of speaking, and one or two grammar topics like passé simple, subjonctif passé, which are required for your literary, like if somebody who wants to pursue masters or maybe any literature domain in future. So yeah, that is what is B2. You'll see that
Okay.
you'll have a lot of vocabulary. We say a niveau élevé, le vocabulaire raffiné, like refined vocabulary. The vocabulary which we have been using till now is basic. B1, you'll be learning a lot of new expressions, lot of new words, and so generally mere saath, I have a one special course which is called A2 to B1 progressive. Normally that's not there in the market, but I feel like that a person who is planning to go for B1 should first do A2 to B1 progressive, because again, even if you attend B1 class first day, second day, it'll be a huge thing on you, because B1 is something altogether a next level thing.
Okay.
You've started your B1? Have you, are you doing B1 already?
Oui, j'ai commencé avec B1. J'ai parlé un peu.
Tu viens de commencer ton niveau B1 ou tu vas commencer?
J'ai
You have just.
le prochain mois?
Okay, tu vas commencer, है ना? You are going to start.
Yeah, prochain mois.
Le mois prochain.
Oui.
Ok. Donc pour ça, je te suggère de développer encore ta production orale et aussi la compréhension orale. Il faut pratiquer beaucoup d'exercices. You see, when I say you to practice these grammar exercise, my motive is not to just give you to just fill in the blanks. मेरा ये motive कभी नहीं है. I want you to understand. और क्लास में कम्युनिकेशन नहीं होता है, तो इसीलिए कुछ डाउट्स आते नहीं है. So if you're going for B1, then just make sure you have a good base and you do a lot of writing. That is also a part of it. Yeah.
Wait, are there any opportunities in France or like Belgium in terms of like speaking French, and any immigration opportunities or anything like work?
Yeah. France, you have the same thing, TCF for naturalization. So you take this TCF thing. I'll be having these workshops maybe starting from next month for TEF-TCF. So you have for this not only Canada, so you have for France also. You take this exam for France and you can move there and get the permanent residency there also.
Oh, but isn't that, how long does that take?
Long in terms of the learning or the process you're talking?
Like the naturalization, how long is it? Is it like 5 years or so, or?
Not really 5 years. I think, I still have to do research on it. But again, it is like this only. You take the exam, then you get the invitation from the French embassy. They invite you. I think it's just a process for 3 years, I suppose.
Okay.
Or maybe lesser than that. Okay. Yeah.
So there is, okay.
Yeah.
Merci.
Oui, je t'en prie. Okay, anything else? So last time you asked for some listening practice and you went away. I don't know where you disappeared actually.
Yeah, my internet is really bad because it rains here a lot. So the Wi-Fi keeps going and coming. I have to keep switching between data and Wi-Fi. So I have to keep requesting to join each time I switch between Wi-Fi and data. So I try to make it, but the switching and having to keep coming in and data exhausting becomes a bit of a problem.
Okay, pas de problème. Why? So any other question, or you'll just do one listening then today? And I think if you still have any questions related to any exercises or whatever, so we can do that. Oh, écoutez, this we did. Je voudrais. Ok. On va trouver un exercice. So who joined now? So any questions? So regarding your DELF A1, A2, anybody is planning to write that exam, you can like ask me on my personal window in WhatsApp. I'll share the relevant book, because DELF pattern has also changed in 2020. Now you have all your paper in MCQ. Like when I took this exam, so it was subjective as well. So I'll share that with you. Okay, so Sahet, you see, we've finished the class then. So we will, yeah, next, if you have any doubts or questions, you let me know. I'll arrange a session and class and we can meet. Okay.
D'accord.